Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another movie review, aka after I saw I'm filming in the rain again. I'm having deja vu. But anyways, this is going to be my review for Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. So in this film, we follow Scott and Hope as their families are together. But then all of a sudden, an experiment involving a device causes them to go into the world that... I forgot, they called it something else, but I'm just going to say Quantumania. And from there, they embark on an adventure, and we see multiple different characters, some that remind you a lot of Star Wars, and a brand new villain called Kang. And of course, when it comes to Ant-Man, they're some of the most entertaining that the MCU has to offer. The first movie I thought was a lot of fun. Second movie, I didn't really think was as good, but I really enjoyed as well. When it comes to this current phase of the MCU, it's not really as acclaimed as the last previous phases, and I can see why. Thor: Love and Thunder wasn't a fantastic movie, and a lot of people really hated that, and say it's the worst Thor franchise, and I do believe that it is. And Eternals, while I liked, was definitely a disappointment, but honestly, I like those two movies more than this. In fact, this is probably my least favorite MCU film. And that's saying something right there, because while I didn't hate this movie, there is definitely some enjoyment to be had with this one, but for me, it definitely lacked what made the first two movies so entertaining to begin with. For one, the script. It is definitely lacking, and the humor and the charm isn't really there that often, just like the previous two movies, though I haven't seen them in quite a while. I remember enough to know that there was definitely a lot more going on in the first two. I mean, the first movie was a solo film, second movie was a partner film. This one is more of a group film where Ant-Man, Hope, and their families are trapped in the world. I'm including Ant-Man's daughter, Cassie, who's a teenager now. She has a much bigger role in this one, and Scott and Cassie are together a lot more often in this, and apparently... Okay, I'm not going to go into spoilers, because... yeah. But I feel like one of the biggest things about this movie that really doesn't work is the first act. I mean, the first act I thought was an absolute mess. I mean, it brings in all these different characters from different characters' perspectives, and I mean, some are interesting. I think Kang is a very excellent new addition to the MCU. I think he's a really good villain, so there's something, and we are going to be seeing him in more of the MCU in the future, so that's cool, I guess. But it changes after the second act, and it's a completely different movie, and I feel like it's a lot better. But one of the weirdest things about this movie to me is that it reminded me of so many other, like, bizarre sci-fi films, like The Fifth Element, of Star Wars, like I mentioned before. I mean, the fact that they just mostly blended Marvel and Star Wars together, it just... I mean, Disney owns the rights to both, so just putting them together into one movie, it's just... I mean, there are characters that definitely remind you, just not as interesting as in Star Wars, but I really should stop comparing this to Star Wars. And one of the biggest things I feel like that I could compare this movie to, in fact, this movie kind of reminds me of... I can't believe I'm actually going to say this movie, but there are times where this movie kind of reminded me of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, just with slightly better effects. There's even a villain, a supposed villain, that looks like Mr. Electric. So just combine him and this world, and even the suits, just... But really, I just feel like while the pacing's fine, and some of the introductions to the new characters are good, I just feel like it really did lack what really made the first two movies so entertaining, because they're honestly some of the better that the MCU had to offer. I mean, we don't really get that much of the Wasp. In fact, it feels less like Ant-Man and the Wasp and more of Ant-Man and the Wasp. I mean, we do see them together once in a while, but I will say the first 5 minutes are entertaining, but then it kind of just goes downhill after that. But yeah. For me, I really didn't have a whole lot to say about this one because while there's enjoyment in here, some people could have fun with it. As for me, I just feel like it was kind of a letdown to see. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I don't really get excited as much for MCU movies as most people do. I mean, they're definitely some of the most anticipated films to come out each year, but for me, this one was an all-right experience, okay? I mean, it's not like doing anything new or big other than like a few cameos and a new villain, so that's cool to see. And while a lot of the movie is green screened, some of it's convincing, some of it is not. But really, compared to Avatar: Way of Water, which had a lot of that, but it looked far more convincing, just compared to this film, and you can kind of see a difference. But nonetheless, I mean, the action's there, but the script could have been better. But I mean, there's enjoyment here and there. I mean, the movie has good heart to it, and it's definitely a lot better when it comes to the later half of the movie. But I just didn't really feel like there was much of a reason to jump for joy in this one. But it could just be me. But yeah, I mean, Ant-Man's supposed to be really important to the MCU now, so there's that. But it's not a bad movie, but it's definitely the weakest of the MCU in my point of view. Hopefully Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 won't be as disappointing as this one. Or the Marvels. I don't know, we haven't seen a trailer for that, but yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, I actually have some pretty big plans. Other than my February vlog coming out at the end of the month. It's just, I can't really say what they are yet. In fact, I can't guarantee that they're going to happen, but if they do, then I will probably make a separate video about that. So just try to think what it could be. I mean, I said it in a previous video like a couple years ago, but you'll just have to wait and see. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. We're out.